before marvel, there was faith. These are the real heroes of courage, power, and unshakable faith. This is Faith Avengers.
He was a shepherd, out in the fields, far from the spotlight, just a kid with a staff and a flock of sheep. No one expected greatness from him. He spent his days protecting his sheep from wild animals, learning patience, courage, and trust in God when no one was watching. A kid, no sword, no armor, just a sling, 5 stones, and fearless faith. He didn't have the gear of a warrior, but he had something better, a heart that refused to back down, even when the odds looked impossible. Picture this, ancient Israel. 2 armies, deadlocked. The air thick with tension, the ground trembling beneath the weight of fear and anticipation. Every morning, the same challenge echoed across the valley, and every morning Israel's army shrank back. On one side, the Philistines, hardened warriors, armored and confident, ready to crush anyone who dared to step forward. On the other, Israel's best warriors, paralyzed by fear. These were trained fighters, but even the bravest among them couldn't bring themselves to face the giant who taunted them day after day. And right in the middle, David, just running food to his brothers. Not exactly hero material, right? He was the youngest, the errand boy, the one everyone overlooked. But sometimes the ones who seem the least likely are the ones God chooses to do the impossible. But here's the wild part. David was probably just 15, barely old enough to be in the army, but old enough to believe that God could use him for something big. Goliath, 9 feet tall, covered head to toe in armor, the kind of guy who makes nightmares look friendly. He was the ultimate bully, a living wall of muscle and metal, and his voice alone sent chills down everyone's spine. Everyone else saw a giant. They saw an obstacle too big to beat, a problem too massive to solve. David saw a target. Why? Because he knew God had his back. That's not just confidence, that's savage faith. He remembered the times God helped him fight off lions and bears. He knew that if God could help him then, God could help him now. David steps onto the battlefield, and Goliath's out there, trash-talking, flexing, daring anyone to come at him. The whole army is watching, holding their breath, expecting David to run away. But David, he doesn't flinch. He doesn't need a sword. He just loads up his sling, picks a stone, and lets it fly. In that moment, he's not just fighting for himself. He's fighting for everyone who's ever felt too small, too weak, or too afraid. One shot, the giant drops. The impossible just became possible, and the whole world saw what faith can do. Here's the thing. Real faith equals big courage. It's not about having all the answers or never feeling scared. It's about stepping up anyway, trusting that God is bigger than whatever you're facing. David didn't win because he was the strongest. He wasn't the tallest, the fastest, or the most experienced. He was the underdog, the outsider, the one nobody bet on. He won because he believed. He trusted that God was bigger than any giant. That's the kind of faith that changes everything, faith that moves you to action, even when you're shaking inside. But let's be real, giants aren't just part of some old story. Every Gen Z warrior faces giants. Anxiety, fear, hate, pressure to fit in. The battles might look different, but the struggle is just as real. They might not be 9 feet tall, but they can feel just as huge. Sometimes the giants in your life are invisible, but they're just as intimidating. You know what? With God, you've got weapons too. You've got hope, you've got truth, and you've got a community that stands with you. It might not be a sling and some stones, but you've got prayer, courage, and that wild, unbreakable faith. You've got the power to stand up, to speak out, to keep going when it feels impossible. So here's my challenge for you. What's your Goliath? What's the thing that feels too big, too scary, too much for you to handle alone? Is it the voice in your head saying you're not enough? The doubts that creep in when you're alone? Is it a bully at school? Someone who tries to make you feel small, who tells you you'll never measure up? Is it the fear that nobody gets you? The loneliness that makes you wonder if you'll ever truly belong? Drop it in the comments. Let's call it out together. #FaithChallenge. Because when you name your giant, you take the first step toward defeating it. Because faith isn't just ancient history, it's your superpower today. It's what gives you the strength to stand up, to keep going, to believe that you're never alone in the fight. David faced his giant, and you can face yours. You've got what it takes, you've got God on your side, and that changes everything. Stay tuned. Next episode, we're talking about Esther, the boldest queen in history. Faith Avengers out.
Hey, Faith Avenger, if you made it this far, you're part of the squad. Do you relate to brave Queen Esther, bold David, visionary Joseph, or maybe Rahab, who risked it all? Comment below with your favorite hero and why they inspire you. Hit subscribe, like, and share this with your squad. New Faith Avengers episodes drop every week.